Hello guys, Sir Grandelot here. It's time to talk about tier lists, because the game has been out for a while, Chaos Zero Nightmare at that, and I want to do it using, just like my first video, a tier list, using the Prydwen tier list, because I think it's fairly convenient and it's a layout that everyone is very familiar with, because and also experienced players every now and then like to check the tier list, although it's for different reasons. Like a new player would check the tier list to have an idea of who to build, who to pull for, whereas an experienced player will look at Prydwen just to make fun of them. But those are things for topics for a different video, let's say. And the thing that I did like about the Prydwen tier list is that they separate the two main game modes, which is one is for Chaos Manifestation, and one is now labeled Seasonal Save Data, because in the beginning when I discussed tier list it was mostly about the Hyperboreal Basin, which was the endgame. Now we also have the Great Rift, and based on what they say, not me, based on what Prydwen says, they put a lot of emphasis on the Great Rift when it came time to make this tier list. I want to start with the Chaos Manifestation first. And I have a big disclaimer when it comes to Chaos Manifestation, which is this. The purpose of doing a Chaos Exploration, whether Laboratory 0 or the original one, there are two essentially purposes. One is you want to have fun, because you enjoy the roguelike game, you just want to see what is going to happen, maybe you want to try a new character that you just built. The other option is you want to get a sweet save file for one or more specific characters. These two things are very different, because the way I see it is that if you want to have a run just for fun, it doesn't matter who is the strongest character. It doesn't matter at all. If you want to have a Maribel, I don't know, Calipe, Magna run, you do a Maribel, Calipe, Magna run, regardless of the tier lists. And this is important because you're not going to build characters that you like or you don't like based on the tier list itself. So it has value, but up to a certain point. Now, let's assume that you really value the tier list and you want to be meta even when you do chaos runs. This tier list has a bit of a problem. Because if you look at the tier list, at the top of the support chain, there is Mika, because she's AP friendly apparently. This is wrong, and it's not up for debate. The reason why it's wrong is that when you go to do a chaos run with the purpose of generating a save file for a specific character, the way to do so is by having as many characters as possible, combatants, that have as many unique cards as possible in their deck, so that the character that you are targeting for your save file will have more chances at getting your desired cards duplicated. So it's out of discussion, it's not a question, that Rei is better than Mika, and Mika is better than Nia. The reason for that is Rei has one unique card by default. They can become two, because the lead card that Rei starts with has an epiphany that can turn it into a unique card. Mika has one, and that's it. Nia has no uniques. So if you want to evaluate the characters based on how good they are keeping you alive, they all pretty much are on the same level. You're going to finish a run perfectly alive regardless of who you use. You can use Rei, you can use Nia, you can use Source of Water, you can use Cassius, you can use Orlea, it doesn't matter. You're going to end the run alive as long as your characters are decently built, the fragments are correct, and all the sort of stuff. But if we want to have a discussion at who is the best character as a support for Chaos Manifestation, it's Rei. And it's really not something to be discussed. It's visible in the kit. You should play Rei instead of Mika. I know that it feels comfortable to play Mika and you have Source of Water and everything else is dog shit, but at the end of the day, if you're targeting specific character, you need to go the greedy way, which is playing Rei, not removing her lead card right off the start, and hoping that you hit the unique epiphany. You still have the chance of removing that card right at the beginning, if you get the blessing from the god that allows you to remove 2 cards. And even if you do so, Rei is very good. She generates fewer action points than Mika, of course, but Her healing is more than enough to complete a Chaos run, and her buffs, like the damage buffs that she provides, are way better than what Mika can provide. She provides none. And so I really disagree with Rey being put lower than Mika in the support list. As far as everything else goes, as I was saying earlier, it doesn't really matter. I heavily disagree with Yuki being so far down in tier 2. I think it's nonsense. They may be trolling us with that. It's just for rage baiting. They've been known to do it in Kai Star Rail with Acheron. Like every time that they get a chance to lower the tier list, the rating for Acheron, they do so because it's a way of rage baiting, so that more people will discuss about the tier list and it will attract the views on their website. So I really don't buy Yuki being so far down the tier list, because it's absolute nonsense. All the other characters are all very debatable. The only thing that I believe is not debatable is that as far as damage dealers go, Mei Lin and Serenia are clearly a notch above everyone else, and Veronica is absolutely goated because, irrespective of whether you want her to deal some damage and card draw, or whether you want to do some save file shenanigans, she's by far the best support DPS in the current state of the several chaos manifestations that we can run. We then go to the next part of the tier list, which is the seasonal save data. For the most part, I would say I agree with this, with one exception. Now, it's obvious that at the top we have Mei Lin and Serenial again, because they're the best damage dealers, and the current Great Rift is designed specifically for Serenial. Now, as you may know, if you've checked the leaderboard, Cassius is by far the best character that we can put in the second half. And yeah, worth noting about the Great Rift, the first half doesn't matter. You can play anyone you want. So this tier list could actually be tier 0, the characters that perform well in the second half, tier everyone else, because everyone can perform well in the first half. Like, unless your characters are completely botched, you give them random fragments, you forgot a fragment, you forgot to give them a partner, you're going to get around 150k points in the first half. If you don't, you need to build your characters a bit better. As far as the second half goes, which is the one where I think we should focus a little bit more, if you're interested in the leaderboard, which I am not, the team that everyone is using to get max score is Serenial, Cassius, Selena. This brings up my question. If that one is the top team, then why is Selena lower tier than Serenial and Cassius? It cannot be a matter of general use, because if you do not have Serenial and Cassius, you are never going to bring Selena to do anything. She doesn't just perform as well, it's not even close. On the other hand, if you do have Selena, and you have a correct kind of save file with multiple copies of the card that regenerates the tenacity bar of the boss, then Selena is tier 0, exactly like Serenial and Cassius. So I can blame this miscommunication issue on the fact that it's probably a long topic to discuss, so they didn't feel like putting Selena there at the top, but she really does not belong to the bottom, since right now she is in the best team in the game for the Great Rift. So they put her in tier 0.5, but I wish that they put a remark about it, because they put a notice, a very generic notice about Selena saying, oh, now Selena is good if you play her with the Serenial, so now she can be used, tier 0.5. The truth is, if you have Serenial, Selena is tier 0, exactly like Serenial and Cassius, because they are the best team for the endgame mode with the leaderboards. If you do not have Serenial and you do not have Cassius, you have not built Cassius, Selena's tier is -5, it's not even tier 2, she doesn't really do much. You can use her, if you play Mei Lin break, but even then for me it's a little bit questionable when the best team does not involve those characters. So for me there's a little bit of a question mark when it comes to a tier list for the seasonal save data. Other than that, for the most part, I would say that I agree. For me, the odd one out is always a little bit Orlea, because if you have a perfect save file, you giga grinded Orlea, all the divine epiphanies combine well, etc, 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 she can be a great damage amplifier. Otherwise, she's borderline useless and completely power crept, even by Ania with the 15k points base save file. So it's up to you. I'm sure that if you want to look for some Orlea showcases, you can find some, multiple Manifestigos Orleas with perfect triple or quadruple divine AoE vulnerability application, and be like, yeah, Orlea is good. I'm going to get her with my 300 pulse selector. The truth is that you should get Veronica in the current state of the game. As you can see, she's top dog even here in the seasonal save data for the support DPS slot, which is something that I absolutely agree with. I want to put out just a small remark about Veronica and Kizuru. Veronica, for me, was an account changer, because now pretty much every single time that I'm doing a chaos run where I want to target someone's save files, Veronica is there. The other two characters change all the time. If I'm targeting a support, the damage dealer is going to be Serenial or Kizuru. If I want to build a damage dealer, the support is going to be Rei. But Veronica is always there 100% of the time. Because even if you remove all of her cards that are not unique, you just keep the unique cards, she's going to be a fantastic damage dealer during your chaos runs, and she's going to help building other characters. So absolutely phenomenal character. One copy is enough, because our Manifestigos are terrible, absolutely awful, and you can give her any partner that you have, it doesn't really matter. Really, really go to the character. The other one that I want to talk a little bit about is Kizuru. A very well built Kizuru for me is not that far off some of the characters in tier 0.5. I don't agree with that too much, although Hugo, when built well and in the right team, especially with Tressa, definitely performs better than Kizuru. Not everyone has a Hugo. Unfortunately, my account has a Manifestigo, I think 25 Hugo. I don't even remember how many copies I got of him. But the beauty of Kizuru is that she can be the main damage dealer, she can be the secondary damage dealer, and strangely enough, she can be the sustain. You may be thinking, oh no, Sir Grandelot is having a stroke while recording the video, it's over for him. No. Kizuru's card that stacks, when you get it to bind free, it heals the team for a certain percentage. You can rely on that very easily, depending on the rest of your team. Now, if your damage dealer is Serenial, you may notice you don't need any healing until the very end of the run during Chaos Exploration. When that happens, if you want to play Serenial, Kizuru, Veronica, you're going to have a lot of unique cards in your decks, meaning that targeting specific cards for specific combatants is going to be a little much easier. So, for me, Kizuru, rather than AP friendly, is in that kind of tier that is very, very good when you are targeting save files. It doesn't matter here in seasonal save data too much, although I believe that her performance is better than tier 1. But that's just my personal experience with my Kizuru. Your mileage may vary. So, all in all, not terrible, Prydwen, not terrible. What I don't like too much, like of all the things that I complained about their tier list so far, I would say Mika being here at the top for Chaos Exploration is the one that bothers me the most, because there's going to be a lot of people who see this tier list and are like, yeah, I have Mika, I'm going to build her, thinking that it's the best option, where she's not. She's clearly not, and it's not debatable. If you're struggling to stay alive during Chaos Manifestations at difficulty 8, because that's where you should go, then the problem is not which support you're bringing with you. It's the build of your characters, and you should use Rei. Definitely Rei. It's time to become based and Rei peeled, rather than cringe and the source of water peeled. We need to move on from that stage of the game. So for me, she should be Here in tier 0.5, Ray should be a little bit above. And unfortunately, Nia, yeah, she's a little bit less than ideal for Chaos manifestation runs, unless she's the one that you want to build for endgame content, where she shines significantly more. Bye guys, take care.